Hey everybody, Austin here again with a Let's Play video. Tonight we're going to be playing through Batman the video game, this time the Sega Genesis and Megadrive version. I've actually covered the NES and Game Boy ones in the past, also by the same company, Sunsoft. They made a bunch of different versions of this game, and they're all kind of different, yet similar at the same time, if you've played all of them. This was a game I probably first played for the first time about 6 or 7 years ago because I had done the other versions and I was like, I should try the Genesis version, and I just found it to be very, very difficult. And I always thought to myself, yeah, this is probably one of those games I won't ever be able to complete. However, lo and behold, a few nights ago I sunk some more time into it and I managed to actually find a decent route through the game. And so what we're going to do here is actually play through the game. I'm going to talk about my strategies and stuff like that that I use to get through this game consistently. And so if you're trying to beat this game for the first time, hopefully you can use this video as a reference point, and hopefully it can help you get through the game as well. If you don't ever intend on beating this game and you just want to see someone go through it, well, this video is for you too. And for anyone that just likes to see some gameplay and chill out and relax, or maybe even fall asleep to it, because apparently my voice has that effect on people. Yeah, you can just chill back and relax and hopefully enjoy some good old Sega Genesis and Mega Drive gameplay. For anyone curious, we are actually using the analog Mega SG to do this recording. I was actually practicing this on real hardware, but I like using my Mega SG for the best video quality and whatnot. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and hit that start button. Again, this is based on the 1989 Tim Burton movie, so you will see graphics that they basically try to replicate the characters from the movie, like Vicky Vale, Batman, and the Joker, and whatnot. Let's check out our options menu real quick. I wanted to show you that if you're trying to learn this for the first time, I recommend putting your lives up to 7. The reason for that is you do have a finite amount of continues. It's like 3, 4, maybe 5. So, if you don't want to have to go all the way back to the beginning as you're learning the game, pop your lives up to 7. Now, there are some power-up exploits in this game that I'm going to show you how to do. That can boost your lives even further as well, if you take advantage of that at specific parts. But when you're just starting off, I'd recommend putting your lives up to 7. I always like playing on default settings when I know how to play a game. But as I've gotten older, I'll use something like extra lives just to kind of get my feet wet with the game and get more comfortable with it. So, but we're going to pop it back down to 3, so it's on default settings. And then there's also a hard mode, which I actually haven't experimented with. For anyone that has tried that, let me know what you think of it and how much more difficult it actually makes the game. I'll probably try that down the road, but for now, we're just going to be doing normal mode. So let's go ahead and hit that start button and then jump right into it. It just dumps us right into the game. It doesn't have any intro story once you hit start. And this is a very basic level where you're just bashing grunts. There's 2 different kinds of grunts in this level. The guys that jump down actually have guns. The guys that are on the ground already running at you, they just have knives, and they're pretty not dangerous at all. As long as you just run up to them and just like tap the punch button, which is one of maybe 3 attacks you have. I guess technically 4 attacks total. We're going to be doing this for a lot of the game. It's just punching. Now, one thing that's really good to know is for enemies that take more than 1 hit, they don't really stagger that much, but it is possible to stun lock them if you just time your attack properly. And so what we want to do is just go tap, 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 that sort of thing on the bigger enemies. There are some bigger enemies that take like 8 hits, and so you really want to just get up in their face, tap them once, and then just rhythmically tap the punch button again to stun lock them and then take them out without you taking any damage. So you can do a ducking kick as well. There's also a somersault move. You press jump again in the air. And what's interesting about this game is if you just land on an enemy at the right point, you'll actually do... It's not really a jump kick, but you can just kind of jump on an enemy and do damage. And this is actually the strategy for this first boss. Now you can do it via the somersault if you want, but this guy does like the dash across the screen. But there's it via the somersault, or you can just, again, get in his face, jump, and then just land on him. So if you run up and try to just like do a ducking kick on this guy, or just a punch to his face, he is going to retaliate, and he's going to trade hits with you. And he is a big dude, comparatively to Batman. and he does a lot of damage. He'll do like 2 or 3 blocks of health, whereas you've got to hit him a bunch of times just to do 1 block of damage. And that's how a lot of the bosses are in this game. I'm going to go ahead and grab this heart. That gave me all my health back. Very nice. What I like to do is actually save one of the hearts for the end of the fight. After I defeat the boss, I have a couple seconds to go grab the heart. So in case I take a hit, I want to make sure I go into the next level with full health. Now, what's interesting about this game, and one of the ways it's just mean, is the default state for your health bar is only half of a bar of health. So when you start the game, you only get 4 blocks of health to start, but it actually goes up to 8. Now, if you have 8 bars of health going into your next level, you'll carry that over. And so that's why I wanted to save that heart for the end of the fight. So this part actually teaches you how to use your hook shot. You have to press up and C, and of course those guys just ran right back into me. And then it also teaches you how to use your somersault. It's actually not possible to get past this without the somersault. Now, if you're like me and you learn the game without the instruction manual, you know, you're not going to really know how to do that stuff. So, you know, it's going to take some trial and error to figure that out, some random button pressing experimentation, which is how I ended up getting through it. But I do recommend reading the manual for this game if you've never played it before, and if you're going to try it and you're going to go into it without the instruction manual, because it does tell you about all those maneuvers. It tells you about the somersault. It tells you about jumping on top of enemies' heads and stuff like that. The jumping on enemies' heads thing is really unintuitive because it just makes a little tiny light sound effect, nothing special. And it's not obvious that you're really doing damage when you land on top of an enemy. So there's a little exploit you can do here as well. If we scroll the screen over just a little bit and then move back. Hey, look at that. The bazooka guy's back. I took a hit, but so did my health refill. So that's the sort of exploitation I'm talking about in this game. And there's several moments and several places in this game where you can do that. And it is, honestly, I think it's pretty critical to, in terms of getting through the game consistently and allowing the game to not be all that frustrating. If you're not taking advantage of all those power-ups, then the game could be very frustrating. I found it very tedious to learn this game. We're going to wait for this turret to shoot, and then we're going to go attack it. And we've got a bazooka guy. I'm going to just go ahead and jump over his projectile, land right in his face, and then shoot, just like that. Another bazooka guy. Just get down here, kick him in the face. Now, you have to be careful about your somersaults on this part because it's easy to, like, slip through one of the gaps between the pipes, and it is an endless pit below you, so you will lose a life. So again, pressing A will let me use my my boomerangs, and since I've got a bunch of boomerangs right now, I can just use them on this part to get through it without taking too many hits. There's some guys that are going to come in from behind me, most likely. Can also hit the bazooka guy right there. Punch that turret. What we're going to do is watch for Jack's gunshots. We're going to jump over it, jump again, and then do a somersault. And then boom, we just beat the boss. Alright, so the museum has the best exploits. We're going to be able to get ourselves a bunch of extra lives here, and a bunch of boomerangs. And as long as we get through the level without dying, we're going to be able to carry all those boomerangs over into our next couple of levels. So this is one of those big guys you want to just stun lock with your punch. Just go tap, 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 tap. Don't button mash with the punch. If you do that, you're going to end up doing like a little left-right combo. See? It kind of comes out occasionally. Not very useful, actually, because the little combo swing doesn't really actually connect with the enemies. Your punch will just end up going through the enemies, so what you end up wanting to do is just go and tap, 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 kind of like that. Alright, so right here, we've got ourselves an extra life. There we go. But I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to jump, and I'm going to fall right back down. And hey, look at that! That's convenient. Another extra life. And we're just gonna do it again. So you can basically do this however many times you want. Now, I don't know if your extra lives cap out at 9. I haven't tried, but usually what I'll do is I'll get, 5, 6, 7. That'll give me a good little buffer. When you continue in this game, you do go back to the beginning of the stage. I do believe, anyway. So, getting as many lives as possible is definitely handy. And that's it. We'll just, we'll roll with 7. And there is one more section where we can grind out for some items. Hook shot right there. I'm going to jump up and punch this guy in the face. See, again, just tap, tap, tap. And again, right here. Tap, 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 tap. Just like that. Some more boomerangs or batarangs. Grab some health. And same thing again. Punch him in the face. I'm not really worried if I take damage here. There are more health refills on this level. So if you take some hits, don't panic. Also, no reason to panic if you've grabbed some extra lives. But I am going to use my boomerangs right here because this guy is a little irritating. He throws his axes at an angle, and that's fine. Alright, now I'm just going to take my time right here. Jump up. Just wait. Jump up again. Just wait. Jump. 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 Another jump. Oh. Just wait. Take our time. This is where you really want to be disciplined in this game. You don't want to just be like running and gunning, like hopping and bopping. Running and jumping all the time. You want to just kind of sit still. Just take your time. We're going to go ahead and grab that boomerang. Fall back down here. And look at that. Do the same thing again. We're just going to rinse and repeat until we have a lot of boomerangs. Now what's great about this is that there's no timer in this game. So you can just do this all day long. You can do it and then get 99 of these if you want. I assume that's where it caps out. I think the highest I've grinded out to is maybe 70. We're at 35 right now. Now, one thing that's actually kind of interesting about this level is we actually have 2 boss fights on it. Aside from the final level boss rush, it's the only level in the whole game that fights you, that fights you. The whole game fights you, really. It's the only level that makes you fight multiple bosses in one level. Alright, so I've got 50. I think we're probably good. Now, what I like about these grunts is that as long as I'm constantly moving forward, if they appear and they bust out their guns, I can just run up and just punch them before they can even do anything to me. I'm going to press down and jump right here. So he busted out his gun, boom, I just punched him right in the face. And again, ducking kick. Right in the face. This is assuming that you're constantly moving right. You're constantly moving right, and they're spawning in on the right side of the screen. So there's a health pickup right there. I'm going to leave it. And for this guy, I like to somersault into him, and then somersault back immediately. Even though it looks like he's hitting me, it's for some reason it doesn't register. I'm going to get back over to this side, because I want to save that heart. And that's okay. I can use my boomerangs if I wanted to. Kind of like that. Grab the heart. Now, boss number 2. So this guy throws a projectile at you, and then he does like a belly flop. Boom. And what we want to do is just bait the belly flop, body slam, or whatever it is, and then just run up and kick him once. If you don't kick him fast enough, he'll start charging at you. He'll run right through you, and it does a good amount of damage. So what you want to do is just get him into that jumping loop. Most of the bosses in this game, actually all the bosses in this game, have very simple patterns like that. So here's a little diversion level. First point of contention is health drops at the bottom and top, right at the beginning of the level. So if you took some hits in the previous boss, you want to make sure you pick up those health pickups, because they don't appear again for the rest of the level. So now your boomerang is now a missile, and it's a homing missile, and it is very, very powerful. These guys throw bombs out straight to the left, so you want to kind of stay away or stay out of their line of sight. And one thing I wanted to mention is that you do get points in this game. It doesn't do anything. As far as I'm aware, you get no extra lives or anything. And it's one of those games where when you beat it, you finish the game, it doesn't show your final score. I don't think it shows your final score. So it's one of those things where you'd have to log your score like before the credits roll. If you're the kind of person that cares about score in a game like this. But you'll notice that we have 48 missiles. This is why you want to grind out for your batarangs on the previous level. This level is a hell of a lot harder if you don't have many missiles. It's very, very difficult. But also, we want as many missiles as possible carried over into our next level. They get converted back into boomerangs. Because the beginning of the next level is very, very frustrating without your batarangs. You've got these clown guys that just come at you, and they do these weird jump kicks, and with how the collision detection works, it's like almost impossible to just punch them or jump into them. So you want to save your boomerangs for the beginning of the next level. There we go, just picked up some more. So there are 2 shoot-'em-up levels in this game. The second one I think is a lot harder, but it is a lot shorter. This level is a decent length. So there are 2 tank-like enemies. We've already killed one, but they come out, they're very beefy, and they have a spread shot that's insanely difficult to avoid unless you're just completely above or below the vehicle. And so I'm going to point those out when we see them again. And for this part, I like to just use my missiles. These guys, you can get close to them and just shoot them with your regular firepower. I think the instruction manual calls it the machine gun. So these guys right here, spread shot, spread shot. If you're right in front of them, you are going to take damage. And there's 2 back-to-back. So you want to save your missiles for that. And now we're basically going to be at the boss fight. For the boss fight, I like staying down towards the bottom of the screen and just use my missiles. And then watch out for potential bullets. Oh, took a hit. That's fine. Boom. I'm going to have 38 boomerangs going into this next level. And we're going to use those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, don't let these guys start to attack you. Oops. And for this part, you can use your boomerang if you want. Or what I like to do is just wait for them to jump towards me, and then I attack them when they go backwards. Kind of like that. Yeah, this level was actually probably one of the hardest for me to learn, because the enemies just felt so cheap, and there's a lot of trial and error. So what I'm going to do is just... Oops, wrong button. Hit him in the head. Same with this guy. Boom, just like that. Right in the head. Alright, so you see that that power-up over there? We want to land around that area. We don't want to land to the left of the guy spewing fire, because there's no platform there. Total leap of faith. So there we go, just like that. We're already almost at the boss fight. So, one of the hardest levels is actually pretty easy when you know exactly what to do. This is one of those levels I got to many years ago, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to beat this game. Because it was frustrating. So for this guy, all you have to do is just wait, let him jump, just punch him. So just meet his jump with your jump and a punch. Sometimes he'll jump twice back to back, so you've got to keep an eye out for that. Not going to bother using my projectiles. I'm going to save them for the next level. There he is. Jumped a second time. I almost feel like the second jump is based on distance, but I haven't quite figured it out. There we go. So another shoot 'em up stage. This one's a little bit harder. Your ship is way larger than the other one. Your Batmobile. So one of the solutions on this level is to just completely avoid enemies. But just like before, your missiles are also homing. So I definitely want to use them on this level. Like I said earlier, this level is a lot shorter than the first shoot 'em up level. Way, way shorter, but it's much easier to take damage, and thus it's much easier to die. So, in a way, it's actually a lot more frustrating. For me, this was actually the hardest level to learn, and I'm still not that good at it. The boss fight's coming up right here. Just use our missiles. Boom. Alright, that was a pretty good run. Usually I take a lot more damage than that on this level. So this is our final level, guys. We're already towards the end of the game. Not a super long game. So just a lot of goons. One thing I kind of like about this level is that if you're up top and there are enemies down below you, you can just drop down and it'll count as like a jump kick. And they will die. Wait for him to shoot, just like that. Drop down on this guy. Grab some more boomerangs. Watch out for those spikes up top. That's where you can do your little, tiny jumps. Let's come on up here. There should be a health refill here shortly. And then we'll be on to our boss rush. Drop down, right on top of that guy. Whoop, got hit by a... He's trying to dodge the bullet. The bullets are actually kind of hard to see in this, so, it definitely requires a lot of practice to get used to observing the bullets coming at you, especially on these dark backgrounds. Just take our time. Extra life right here. Alright. First sword guy, same thing as before. I like to just somersault into him and then do it backwards immediately. I can also use these, because I don't really need them for these boss fights. So the tough thing about this boss rush is that you get no health or ammo refills. Only way you get some health back is by dying. And that's also the only way you get ammo back here. So you really have to know how to deal with these boss fights. There we go. Alright, 2 more bosses. It's probably gonna be sword guy. Yep, there he is. Same thing as before, just jump and punch. I kind of like it when he jumps up twice, because it lets me hit him twice. It means the boss fight goes a little bit faster. Ooh, 3 times. Wow, that's a first. I haven't seen him do that 3 times. Alright, done. So these guys never shoot twice back to back. They always like do a weird maneuver where they kind of look around. So that's actually really good to know on this part. You know, there are games like this with guys that have guns and they shoot, but they'll shoot much more rapidly. And for some reason this guy takes a little while to creep in. Get close, let him throw his thing, let him do his jump, and then just get him into a jump loop. It is possible to kick him twice. I don't recommend it because sometimes this game is a little unresponsive. Like, you'll press down and attack to do a kick, and the kick just doesn't come out. So it's just, I don't think it's really worth doing. And again, if you miss, he'll end up dashing at you. So like just like that. Just like that. So just one at a time. One at a time is the way to do this fight safely. And what's nice is if I do this without dying, my health bar will be boosted back up to the halfway point after this. So I'm like, oh, I've got no health. But no, I do have health. And I get some boomerangs back. So this is our last stretch, actually, guys. And I shouldn't have jumped into those. That was dumb. You know what? I'm going to actually do something different. I don't normally like doing this. I'm going to go ahead and kill myself just to get some health back. Because what I want to do here is grind out for lots of boomerangs. And I don't want to run the risk of dying, but all we have to do is just do this. Jump down, jump back up. Guy below respawns. So he's never a threat when you're doing this. But I basically want to maximize my chances of carrying all these boomerangs into the final boss fight. For one, grinding out on these will help you with the rest of the level. The level's definitely a lot easier if you can just kill enemies from a distance. Kind of like that. But I also want to have a lot of ammo for the Joker. Otherwise, the Joker is a real pain. Not like NES pain, but it's close. So as many boomerangs as we have, or the more the merrier. The more the better. Now be careful right here. If you press down and jump, you will actually fall through, and it's an endless pit right there, and you will die. Gonna do my somersault. Ooh, that was bad. So these guys, you can actually just punch them. Their hitboxes are pretty big though, so you really want to just wait. Oh my god, I died. Alright, this is bad. We're going back. If it lets us. We'll see if it lets us. I'm supposed to make this look easy, but this is what happens when you don't do it right. We have to grind out all over again. There is another point later on in the level that you can grind out on as well, but it's way more time consuming and tedious, and not to mention more dangerous. So you want to just do it right here, and then not screw up for the rest of the level. Alright, that should be good enough. Boomerang, just like that. Do my somersault. Kick the guy, wait for the fire. And then boomerang right there. This guy, you can just jump and hit him from below. Here we go, somersault. And we're gonna wait for that guy to throw his thing. Jump straight up right here. Punch his leg. Just like that. Alright, good stuff. That's how I should have went the first time. Alright, somersault right here, jump, and then hook. Jump and hit him just like that. Getting really close to the end of the game. For this part, like to jump up, throw my boomerang. This is where having lots of extras comes in handy quite a lot. And there should be a health pickup up here. Oops. Did not mean to drop down, but that's fine. And if I wanted to, I could drop back down again. Go back up, and there it is again. Another heart up there if you need it, but I don't. Well, now I do. That tends to happen a lot. Me getting hit by that guy and his dynamite. Same thing right here. I'm gonna jump and throw a boomerang. I have to bring two fingers out for this one, because C is your jump and then A is your boomerang. So if you want to actually hit him, you have to time it just right. And for this thing, we have to do a little baby jump. And I'll do a baby jump again. And then a baby jump again. Oh, nice. It still hit me. That's a tough part. But this is our final boss fight, guys. I'm going to move all the way to the left and just start dropping boomerangs on him. And jump his ground projectiles. And his main projectile, you have a tendency of just going right through it. And then that's it. As long as you're dodging his ground projectiles, that's it. So that, guys, is Batman the video game for the Sega Genesis. One I never really expected to be doing a Let's Play of, but we just did. So, like I said earlier on, it is memorize or die. It's 100% memorize or die, which makes it a very frustrating game to learn. But once you know what to do, it is kind of fun, and some of the visuals look, you know, pretty decent for 1991. It especially looks great on a CRT or a PVM monitor, which is actually how I was playing it 6 or 7 years ago when I first tried it. Really looks gorgeous on the PVM in particular. But yeah, it is very frustrating to learn. It is very stiff. Batman is kind of like a dwarf compared to some of the other enemies in the game. He doesn't feel very powerful, and he takes a lot of damage from enemies as well. But again, once you learn kind of how things work and you memorize the level layouts and you take your time, you don't rush through too crazily, it's not that bad. It is definitely possible to get through it very consistently, like you just saw there. Now, I did make some mistakes, not as many mistakes as I did on my practice runs and other Let's Play recording attempts that I failed. I think I tried this 3 or 4 times now. This is my 4th, I think. Had some pretty big screw-ups on the previous recording attempts. But, yeah, it's tough. It can be tough, but, you know, if you memorize it and you know exactly how to deal with every situation in the game, you can get through it very consistently. So, if you're someone that's trying to get through this for the first time, drop a comment below, let me know, and then let me know when you finally complete it, and let me know your thoughts on the whole experience. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I don't really have much else to say. I'm glad I finally knocked this one out. I'm sure it's one that a couple of you guys out there at least definitely wanted to see. I know some of you guys are big fans of this one. You grew up with it back in the day. I did not, so I have a different perspective on it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the playthrough. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I've got tons of videos like these from the last decade plus. And yeah, if you enjoy that sort of thing, be sure to subscribe. For everyone already subscribed and you know, continuing to watch the channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Without you guys doing that, I probably would not be here still making these videos all these years later. So it's much appreciated. But yeah, that's it, guys. Have yourselves a great day or night wherever you are out there in the world. And until the next one, take it easy.